Hey, Edwin.
Hey, perfect timing.
Hey,
Well,
what's going on,
welcome
guys?
back, man. How's it
Yeah,
going?
thanks for it's good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah,
Always a pleasure.
yeah.
So this will be the third comic we've had you on for. That's your
Yeah.
previous comics you've released were the
Oh,
Ace and the White Leopard.
oh, did we lose DB?
I'm still
Oh, I
here.
think we lost DB. Oh, okay, you're back.
Okay, good.
Well,
Um,
you were saying we previous books we've had with for we were talking about with Edwin.
yeah, the White Leopard and I believe it was the Ace.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what do you got for us this time?
I'm bringing Bloodbone to everybody. Trying to doing this kind of introduction to the characters via Ashcan. I ended up actually releasing the first version of this last year, but I only did it through PayPal, so it kind of went under the radar. And thanks to places like Fund My Comics that are open to guys like me, I decided to kind of do a little kind of short campaign with a new cover and a couple additional pages to for anybody kind of missed out on it the first time.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, so my first thought after looking over the sample pages is this is like the most 90s thing I've ever seen. like
Yeah.
like this slab of beef up here with like veins jutting out of his neck that are bigger than bigger around than his eyes is just kind of like, wow, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, by this I wanted to take you back to like 95, basically take you back to like the comic book shop. And can you imagine between all the crazy titles, Bloodbone kind of sneaks right in there. It doesn't look out of place, so it's kind of what I was going for.
Nope.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny and Bloodbone is kind of well, he's a slab of beef himself, but I guess this is a slab of elephant up here. Like,
Yeah.
very classic uh, muscle man design. It looks like he skipped leg day.
Yeah, yeah.
One of Donald's little signatures, Yeah,
Oh, okay. So this is Donald Delay. So that's
yeah. He did the original 12-page story for the first Ashcan. So yeah,
okay.
and then I have like an additional those that art right there is by Maxi Dallo. He did a 4-page short story for me. That it
Okay.
was actually for something else, and then kind of the something else was kind of up in the air. So I decided to just add this to the Ashcan.
Oh
Give people a
yeah.
little extra bonus content.
Yeah.
Is this kind of like how you had your White Leopard as like a part of a comics anthology, like a little teaser for the comics anthology first?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Nice.
So also I can kind of see the silliness of some of Donald's art here because this mobster kind of looks like a Muppet in this shot here.
Yeah.
um, so yeah, you're bringing the '90s back. Tell us about Bloodbone himself.
So yeah, Bloodbone's basically the story of a man who returns to his hometown after being gone for several years, and he finds out that the city's been overtaken by this criminal organization. They basically bought off the cops, the politicians, and basically turned this once kind of thriving city into like Gotham. Kind of dark, has been overtaken by criminals. A lot of like the regular populace is kind of suffering because of it. And Bloodbone, he's kind of gone through some changes while he was gone, and he decides to use the skills that he learned while he was away to clean this city up and become a mass vigilante and basically bring down this corporation.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so a little bit Dark Knight Returnsy.
Yeah, I compare it mostly to like the first two seasons of Arrow.
Oh, okay.
Anybody who saw
Uh,
like the first two seasons knows Oliver comes back and he's very kind of motivated. He's got like this little checklist of criminals he's looking to take out. It borrows some of those elements. It's Bloodbun wasn't on an island for like years and stuff like that. He went through his own little experience and kind of touch on some of the stuff that happened to him. Uh,
yeah.
while he was away.
Yeah, also kind of reminds me of what was it? Walking Tall. I don't know if you ever saw that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of similar thing. Yeah.
I love the expressiveness in Donald's art here. Like, even though the guy's wearing a mask, you know that he's surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
The thing
got to
about
imagine.
like,
I
yeah,
got to
to
imagine like
me,
the
like
sound of like
Donald's
those hands clapping is just like deafening in that room.
yeah,
Yeah.
he does have like enhanced hearing, so he could definitely. It sounds even louder in his head.
So that was a question I had. Is he a superhuman, or is he just a very well trained guy?
I like to call him an enhanced human. He's basically his body has been transformed to be basically like a peak form, you'd say.
Okay.
There's nothing like, he wasn't born this way. Something kind of happened to kind of change his regular kind of, he was like a typical kind of young man, and then he goes through these changes and becomes like this kind of enhanced human.
Okay, so less like he's less a Superman and more of a Captain America sort of in terms of like power
Yeah,
level.
probably the closest. Yeah.
Okay. I noticed kind of with some of the characters. I know you're a big wrestling guy. Was that kind of an influence with some of the designs having like sort of the wrestling look with any of them?
Yeah, like he's very much based off like Bane.
Okay.
His Joe Ball actually did the original design. He had like a very Bane looking mask at first.
Yeah, like it looks like it kind of went more of like a direction like Grifter from Wildcats.
Mm. You still there, Edwin? Or did we lose him? Oh.
The mainstream comic book press is trying to suppress his comic.
Yeah, I know. Jeez.
Go buy 30 copies.
Yeah. Okay, okay,
You're
he's back.
Anyway, like I was saying, that the mask kind of reminds me of like rather than the Bane luchador mask, this is kind of making me think of Grifter from Wildcats.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of the tweets Donald gave him. Yeah.
Which that's definitely a unique look because okay, so one of the things I realized during the lockdowns a few years back, that the most unrealistic part of Spider-Man isn't the super strength or the webbing; it's the fact that he can talk clearly all the time with a mask actually pressed up against his mouth.
Yeah.
So this seems like you'd be have an easier time making yourself heard.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, if this does well, are you planning to make a second issue of this, or what's next on your schedule?
Oh yeah, definitely. I already have plans on doing a full Bloodbone #1, probably around this time next year. I already have pages in and everything. Like I said, this is a second chance campaign, so the first campaign was launched last year. So basically, whatever we make here should be enough to get this fulfilled and out to people. And then, like I said, we're working on a big #1. It's going to be me and Joe Ball telling a really, really badass story, kind of continuing this Bloodbone universe. It's going to be sick. I can't wait to start sharing some of that stuff with people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So last time you were on, you told me a bit about Fund Your Comic. I've been noticing more people gravitating to there lately. So are you there because of, like, I know that Clownfish TV had troubles with Indiegogo, among other people. Are you kind of on Fund Your Comic because of that experience or a different reason?
No, I had my 2 campaigns, the Ace Volume 1 and Volume 2 on Indiegogo. Everything was good with them, but it's been a while since I launched a campaign there, and there's definitely been a lot of kind of like shadiness from their side. A lot of people getting their campaign shadow banned, and just it's hard to get any feedback or any kind of like response from them. It's been super weird over the last kind of year or so. So this new platform that opened up, and I know Luke. I'm down with what he's trying to do. So I kind of did Raider of the White Leopard as my first test, and everything went great there.
Yeah, the fulfillment seemed to really go through on that one.
Oh yeah.
I got my copy.
Yeah, and I got mine too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got like a dozen copies, orders, I should say, left to fulfill. So everything will be out by the end of the year.
Nice. Yeah. So I guess your experience with my comic has been positive.
Yeah, like I just love how easy it is to set up a campaign. Anybody who's been through it with Indiegogo knows that it's not easy. Setting up a campaign page took me weeks. It's just it's not user friendly or creator friendly. But from my comic, I can set up a campaign in one day and have it ready to go. So
yeah, I wonder if part of it is I'm just pulling up Indiegogo here. And I'm not logged in as anybody right now since I don't use this browser except for streaming. I'm just immediately noticing that a lot of their campaigns on here are more like tech-based with a comic book over here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what they're showing off more.
Yeah, and I remember it was mainly a tech crowdfunding site before your boy Zach put Jawbreakers on there.
Yeah, see, I almost wonder if they're cynically like, well, the comic books don't make us that much money anyway, so why treat them well?
Yeah, which I mean, that's not exactly good business practice.
No,
especially when you're trying to make a dent into what Kickstarter has basically owned. You'd think like anything that kind of helps you cut into that market share, you'd be happy with.
You'd think. Have you ever considered doing something on Kickstarter? Daniel's done a campaign on there successfully.
Yeah, I'm gonna test out Kickstarter probably in the next year or two. Now that I've built up more of a catalog, I kind of feel like it's time for me to start expanding into these different platforms, kind of see what they offer. So you'll be seeing me and I in all sorts of places in the next 2-3 years.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to diversify and have it on multiple platforms. Just if nothing else, get more eyes on your comic books.
Definitely.
Yep, I mean, that is kind of the beauty of publishing, is that once the comic book is made, every sale is net positive, right? Because you just have to have copies sitting around.
Yeah.
The art is the art and the book design is the expensive part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we could probably go through the tiers.
Yeah, let's take a look here. So we've got the basic here, the second chance Ashcan. I don't think I've gotten a comic book that did an Ashcan before. So for those watching who aren't familiar with the term, so this is like a standard-sized American comic. Oh, maybe I shouldn't be showing Lady Alchemy on stream. Oops. That's just what I had ready to hand. But so you have your standard American comic book. How big is your Ashcan?
Well, I got the examples in hand. So.
Okay.
Okay. So when you're ordering one, if you're getting the second chance Ashcan, you're getting the smaller one. Where if you go down here, see it.
I think it's two of those.
Ashcans. Okay, you can get 2 of the Ashcans.
Yeah.
Looks like looks like all the trading cards are sold out.
I have a couple more if you scroll a little further down.
Yeah. Okay. You got the blank cover Ashcan. Is that going to come with a sketch, or is that more just like show up at a convention and get it sketched on?
Yeah, that's for anybody who kind of wants to commission their favorite artist. I've looked into doing it, and the cost was really cheap. So I thought, I'll probably have a couple people I have in mind that I'll actually look to get commissions for my own sake. But yeah, it's just cool. It's something to do with the logo. I think it looks cool with the blood dripping on it. So like I said, it's just a little. I think those are limited to like 25, so they're super like limited.
Yeah. Well, my favorite one here is the O. That's the skeleton, like the skeleton with his mouth just wide open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. More cards.
Yeah, those came out great by Anthony Figueroa. Did a great job with those.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So second page. Okay, so I thought I moved on to the second page, but it of the tiers. Am I already on the?
Yeah.
Website seems to be broken.
Yeah, I got the same problem.
Okay. So is there a tier that gets you the full size comic book, or?
No, it's just an Ashcan.
Okay. Okay. That's what I was trying to figure out. Okay. So last time around it was the full issue or full size comic book. This time it's just the smaller Ashcan.
Yep. I said, when I came up with the idea for like Bloodbone for the first campaign, it was borrowing a lot from like people like Joe Sontag and Sean Aaron had done. They put out like these limited Ashcans. So I wanted to kind of take that idea, but instead of doing like, like a preview Ashcan, this is like based off the old Wizard 0.5s or like the 0 issues they used to do, where you'd get like an exclusive story that was only exclusive to them in an Ashcan form before the big #1 came out a couple months later. Image used to do a bunch of those. They're super like hard to find and like they're actually very expensive right now. If you go on eBay, track them down because they're like very limited collector's run. So I put it at the Bloodbone as like a foil Ashcan. So it's like super limited. It's really cool collector's piece. Yeah,
now
so
I understand.
So this second chance is gonna be also Ashcan. Like I said, I won't have the foil that's exclusive to the first run, but it'll have this new cover, and then it's got 4 additional pages of story that are also exclusive. Like these won't be reprinted unless I do like a big Bloodbone hardcover eventually down the line. Like you won't get a chance to get these. I'm not sure if I'll even offer them when I do Bloodbone #1 next year. I really want these to be like super exclusive and limited.
Yeah. I gotcha. So this isn't the greatest song ever. This is the tribute to the greatest song ever.
Yeah. Just a tribute.
Okay. Now I'm wrapping my head around this a little better. Let's see. Well, it looks like a cool comic with some neat art and a winning premise. Because who doesn't love seeing somebody clean up the streets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can think of some people who don't, but
yeah.
The corporation sure isn't going to be happy. Bloodbone does. Kind of like the fun about this story is, like I said, I wanted to do like a 180 from like Ace. Even though I love everything that I'm doing right now with the Ace, it is outer space. It's spaceships, aliens, all this kind of crazy stuff. Then you go like complete street level with Bloodbone. Like there's no big superpowers or anything here. You have a bunch of like enhanced humans with different skills and stuff. So it's just completely all street level. Bloodbone doesn't really talk a lot. He's basically driven by his actions. And yeah, so if you get to have some real kind of fun, but it doesn't take itself too serious. One thing I'm not a fan of is just like the kind of like over the top, just killing and murdering for like no reason. It just becomes like just a miserable comic with no fun, nothing super heroic about it. It is still superheroes, even though like Bloodbone's like an extremist, so you get to have like some of the lighter moments, some comedy, some humor in between like the violence and stuff, so where it doesn't get like too like bogged down and dark.
Yeah, I'm noticing here like Donald having a lot of fun with the sound effects.
Yeah.
Tat 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 tat, more Uzi sounds. Grab.
Yeah.
Clothesline.
Yeah, the clothesline's great. When that was the first page you sent me, I was dying with the clothesline. I was like, that's hilarious.
Was that his idea or yours?
That was his. Like all the little sound effect things there, that's all Donald. It wasn't the letter or anything. Donald really wrote those into like the grab there, all that kind of stuff. That was all him.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Like I think like anybody who's a fan of Donald, I think like this is his best work. I think he really shines during this story. Yeah, hopefully get to do some more stuff with him in the future. But this is right in his wheelhouse, man. Like when people see
Yeah,
this, it's just
yeah,
beautiful
right.
work.
Slabs of beef, violence with a little bit of silliness. That
Yeah,
definitely
Yeah.
definitely reminds me of that. Oh, what was that comic book he did with the big bounty? Brutus the Badass. That's
yeah,
it.
Brutus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we endorse this product or service.
Yes, indeed.
We'll
Yeah.
have the link in the video. For both the video on demand uh, of this live stream, as well
Yeah.
as when we separate it out,
Yes,
as is our custom.
and I'm putting the link in the chat right now. So,
Yes, go fund his comic.
indeed, yes. Yeah, and you got a couple of months left on it. Looks like.
Yep. This campaign is running for 90 days, so the first 30 days are done. Got another 60 to go, and then it's closing. One of the things I like about Fund My Comic again is like it's super easy. Like I set a start date and time, and I set an end date and time, and it takes care of it by itself. I don't have to contact anybody to close it. Like once that ticker went down, the campaign's done. It's kind of I can breathe. I don't have to worry about checking any boxes or doing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I noticed about a lot of Indiegogo campaigns is they don't seem to start and end when you expect them to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Fund My Comic is super, super easy. It just kind of takes all that worry and stress out of your hands, which is good. You can just focus on promoting. And like I said, we're like less than $250 away, and we got a couple of months to go, so we should be good. Like I said, the campaigns, all the art and everything's already done for this. I just ordered the proof for the blank sketch covers. And I'll probably be ordering the proofs for the main comic probably January. So I should have it hoping to start shipping out sometime in February. At least get the first couple ones out. So it should be a quick turnaround for this. So one of the things about me, it's not just about putting out these books, it's about fulfilling them. I have 3 fully fulfilled campaigns. Raid of the White Leopard's got like a dozen orders left to complete. That'll be my 4th fully fulfilled campaign. And then, like I said, February, start doing my 5th fully fulfilled campaign. It's about, getting the books in people's hands.
Yeah. Yeah, you earn a lot of goodwill with backers if you fulfill, especially fulfill in a timely manner. I've noticed. Yeah.
Yep, and you were very good about when you needed a little bit of extra information for my thing. You just reached out to me, and it was easy.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
So, are you doing the fulfillment entirely in-house?
Yep, running out of my apartment. I'm not at the level where a lot of these guys, they need like warehouses and stuff. It's nothing too crazy. So I'm able to handle them here, but I'm hoping one day I can hire out RJ, Critical Blast, and be like, hey, brother, things are crazy. Do you want to take this? But we're not there yet, so I can handle a couple $100 in my place for now.
Yeah, you'll get there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So, like I was saying, we endorse this product and/or service. It looks like a cool comic. So, if it looks like it scratches your '90s itch, go give it a go.
Indeed. Yeah. All right.
I would even say it looks better than most of the '90s things that inspire it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I'm super happy I was able to get Shelby to do the cover for that. He did the colors and everything and really kind of took it to the next level. Like it really kind of fits that aesthetic I'm going for. Like I said, it kind of reminds you of the 90s, but it's also more updated because Shelby has like a more updated modern style too that works for him. So this is kind of like a good blend of everything I'm trying to do with this book.
Yep. Yeah. That is the thing I've noticed about kind of the Comicsgate and the newer round of it. It's like a refined version of what comics were like in the 90s. So there's an anecdote I heard. So this is a meme I saw, so who knows if it's true. the creators of a lot of the cartoons on Cartoon Network in the 90s, like Dexter's Lab and Johnny Bravo and everything. They had it because they were working at Cartoon Network. They had full access to the Hanna-Barbera vaults there at the studio, so they could go there and watch things. And they were excited because they, a lot of these cartoons they hadn't seen since they were kids. And one of them goes in there and he starts watching Hong Kong Phooey. Then he immediately stops. He says, "We can't watch these cartoons. We have to pretend. We have to be able to pretend that they were good." Or else it will just. I have to continue to believe that these comics were good, or else it will destroy my creativity. And then they had like the motto on the wall: "Make the cartoons we thought we watched as kids." That's what I feel like a lot of this like neo 90s comicsism is.
Yeah, make the comics that we think we remember reading.
Yep.
They're definitely inspired to make them better. Because the fact that for any flaws that those books had, one thing they didn't lack was excitement, and one thing that didn't lack was they looked great. Sometimes there were too many ideas and they needed better editing, which is I think probably like their biggest flaw to me were always they needed like a Jim Shooter, somebody who could kind of like had control the whole line and can be like, look guys, no, you can't. There's no reason for you to add like a fifth new character in your fifth issue. There's been one new character a book, like relax. Add characters after like 10 or 20 issues.
Dude, you really
like,
need a young blood and a team young blood.
Yeah, like a lot of stuff guys were just doing because like they didn't have somebody like was more experienced and kind of like calm them down. Like you don't have to get all this on the page, brother. You can relax. And then the other ones kind of like just like no real motivation to kind of get issues out to people. They were making so much money that they were just like, yeah, we'll put out 2 issues a year. And you're just like, you know how much money you've left on the table?
Yeah.
Like, if you would have just put out 6 issues a year, you know how much more money you would have made? Like, there's just no sense of like, so they needed like a big brother. Like I always said, like what they should have done was hire somebody who could kind of, be a big brother to them and just be like, look guys, you gotta.
Yeah.
But
of course, the whole reason they left Marvel is they thought they knew better than their big brother. So
I mean, they kind of did. That was the problem because Marvel was like the old the uncle that had their heyday. Like you did great 30 years ago. You're not doing what we're doing now. 10 years are in between.
Well, I mean, they just run off Chris Claremont from the X-Men, and boy, that was ultimately a mistake.
Oh yeah.
And Jim Shooter had been sacked a few years earlier, so they didn't have the best leadership at the time. They didn't know how to keep them around.
Yeah.
Oh well, their loss is what was everyone's gain because that as long as they were smart with their money, that those early 90s, man, they just never had to think about money again. There's a reason that Rob Liefeld can do a 6-issue G.I. Joe miniseries for IDW just because he always wanted to draw Snake Eyes. He's not being paid what he's really worth for that.
Yeah.
No, there's no money in making comics for IDW these days.
No.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, I think I've run out of ways to shill this. Is there anything you want to say to the audience before we call it a night?
Yeah, just to be on the lookout for Bloodbone #1 by me and Joe Ball. I think we're gonna rock some people's minds with the stuff that we're doing, and like I said, this is gonna be like a great introduction to the characters, like an exclusive story. So if you're interested in that, give it a shot. It's pretty reasonable pricing on this, all things considered, and the turnaround is gonna be super quick too. So you'll get this in your hand, guaranteed in a couple of months. So
Oh my God! I just realized when you said next year, I thought it was so far away. Tomorrow, December starts.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Did 2023 just vanish for anybody else?
In a blink,
faster than 2022.
Yeah, it did. Wow. Yeah.
Yeesh. Well,
Man.
I guess it's time to go enjoy the last of November. Thanks for joining us, Edwin.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Thank you, Edwin, for joining us.
Yeah.
And
Thank you,
for Ninja and D Rhino and anybody else who joined in tonight.
Yes, yeah. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, hit the bell for notifications. Back to this comic book. Yeah, we'll see you all next week. Everybody.
Yep.
Later, guys.